What's up, everybody? We are live again, and tonight we're discussing again how to get paid what you're worth. And I'm going to be answering some of your most pressing questions as well. If you need your resume review, as always, I am going to pin my email in the chat. If you have a question, you can leave it in the comments. I will do the very best to answer the question right now. If you have an interview that's coming up, and you need my assistance and you have a question about what you should do, this would be a great time for you to ask that question. I will answer it for you on the spot. So on Instagram, I pinned my email address, coachdanielsmiley@gmail.com, in the comments. You can, if you're on TikTok, you can click the link in my profile and get over to Instagram as well, or you can just reach out to me at coachdanielsmiley@gmail.com. Same thing on YouTube. On YouTube, I am going to pin my email address in the chat for you. If you have a question, I want you to leave it in the comments so I can answer it for you. But I am also going to be answering some of your pressing questions. I get questions, hundreds of questions every single day. And I want to make sure I'm responding to every single one of them. They come in the form of direct messages, emails, comments. And so some of the questions are recurring questions. Many people have the same questions. So what I want to try to do is answer those questions for you guys. If this content is helpful to you in any way, you are being empowered, educated, strengthened, have more confidence. I would love it if you would give a $10 gift. Very easy way to do that is to click the link in my profile and just press give. You can give away that you like, right? The credit card, via debit card, whatever. But any support that you can provide will be helpful. I know that this is what God has called me to do for you. And so I am going to continue to do this for you as the Lord allows me to. And there's a reason why I'm doing it, and it's because I'm passionate about candidate success, about unit success. I'm very passionate about that. I've always been that way as a talent acquisition pro. Always have been an advocate for the candidate. And part of it was because of, my upbringing. I'll share that information with you one day on a live. I'll do it. But tonight, I want to talk about two things. One, I'm going to answer your most pressing questions. Many of you have asked me a ton of questions, and I have put those questions down to answer them for you. I'm also going to continue to go through the get paid what you worth, how to get paid what you worth. Because again, in the marketplace, in these companies that you're going to work for, no one is going to advocate for you. You're on your own. You don't have any representation other than yourself. And it is the job of every corporation to maximize profit, minimize expenses. The largest expense in a business is its staff salary. Okay. Thank you so much for the badges. Thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you so much for the roses. Thank you, Monette. I really appreciate that. You guys are so awesome. You can continue to, badges, gifts, ice cream cones, all of those things. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. I will continue to do this I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm a crusader. I'm just going to do everything that I can to make sure that I give you guys the answers. And I'm not going to let anybody stop me. I will not let people stop. I believe I have the blessing of God behind me on your behalf. I have spent all of this time gathering all of this information. And sometimes you don't know why, right? Until you get to a place where it is time for you to do what it is. And I've spent 35 years in talent acquisition, helping companies grow, finding, screening, evaluating candidates, and helping those candidates grow, and giving candidates as much advantage as possible. Now it's my time to give all of the information to you so you can succeed in the marketplace and win in every single interview. You should not be scared when you go to an interview. The truth is, you have all of the control. You do. And companies should be thankful that you applied to the job and that you are going to be something. So let me start off by answering the question from Alan on TikTok. Alan says, "How can we help young people begin to build their strengths in business?" Alan, um, let me share something with you that I share with high school students whenever I do seminars. I tell them the average person in their life will have up to four different careers. That means four different things you will do in your life for work, right? And that could be business owner, it could be work for somebody, but typically, think about yourself. A person will do four different careers, and it may not be the career that you went to college for, things that you were interested in when you were 18. You will have four different careers. Now, there is a baseline that I try to tell all high school students and young people some things that they need to know about work, right? Baseline skills, how to communicate, how to be how to lead, right? How to work ethic, character in the workplace, those kinds of things, right? And then there are some transferable skills from one place to the other. And I always put it in the form of reading, writing, and arithmetic. You need to know those things because those are transferable skills. You'll always have to crunch numbers, report numbers. You always have to write an email, maybe a contract, maybe some sort of manual or something, right? And you will always have to make sure you're reading something. You'll have to be able to make sure that you understand and can comprehend what you're reading. The additional skill that I try to tell high schoolers to master is public speaking. The ability to speak in front of people in public as an authority. Okay, and so that is a skill that a lot of people don't tell young people to develop, but that is something that I tell young people to develop. Send all of the young people my way. I have a book that I'm completing. I've been working on it for a year. It's called The Perfect Career Guide. Whenever I go into high schools, I give that book away to high school students who are in my seminars for free. It's literally everything that they could ever think of with respect to picking a career, whether it's the military or going to college or to a technical school or a trade school or going right to work. It is a comprehensive guide about that person's career. It will help young people have a start. Now, why did I write that book? Why am I writing that book? Think about yourself. Who told you about the career landscape when you were graduating from high school or college? Who told you what it was going to be like? Who gave you the honest to God truth about what the workplace was going to be about and how you could succeed in it? They don't teach that in school. They don't teach it. Not the real world stuff. Right? They tell you, graduate from high school, go to college, you will get a job and have a career. And a lot of times it don't work like that. It does not work that way. You graduate from high school, go to college, you find yourself in debt trying to find a job because nobody told you how to take that next step. So that comprehensive guide that I give away, and I'll have it up in my store soon. I give that to every high school student because I want them to have the information that I have, and I want them to have a head start on their career and which direction they should go. Whether they want to go, if they want to go into the military, if they want to go to college, if that's right for them, a trade school that will right into their career or work in a job. That career guide will help them out. So I hope that answers the question. If you have a question, leave it in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer that question. Okay. Now, excuse me, I have a little bit of stuff. That's okay. I'm not going to let nothing stop me from speaking with you guys. All right. How to get paid what you worth. One of the most pressing questions I get from you guys, from the community, is how do I determine what to ask for pay? And I'll be honest with you and tell you, in 2024, for people not to know that blows my mind. It blows me that people don't know how to determine what they are worth. It blows me away. So when I'm interviewing candidates, I do my very best to make sure I equip them with this information before they go see it. Because pay can be a barrier to your getting a job if you don't say the right thing. If you don't understand what to say, it can be the thing that disqualifies you for a position. I've done the exact same thing. Company says to me, Dan, what kind of, this is the position that we have, but what kind of money are you looking for? Tell them right up. Now, every penny I ask for in salary, bonus, or performance bonuses, I can justify. I can tell them exactly why I am worth what I'm asking for. I can quantify how my job, what I am going to do, the efforts that my hands, how it is going to 10x my salary. I can quantify it very clearly. And over time, how that cost savings, revenue generation will help the company grow faster. They want to expand, they want to grow, they want to do more with less. I know how to quantify. If I ask for X, I know how to quantify. You know too. Unfortunately, most people don't know. So the most pressing question I get is, Daniel, how should what should I say when it comes to what I want for pay? Okay. Here's a mistake that most people make. They take what they used to make and apply it to what they want to make without understanding that you're talking apples and oranges. A lot of times that's the case. It's a different position, different industry, or same position, smaller company, larger company, all kinds of variables. And you have raised your lifestyle to match your previous salary. And so you are asking, let's say you're in your previous job, you were overpaid, and you're trying to get a new employer to pay you what you used to get paid because you think that the position that you're in now, that you're going to be getting now, solves the same kind of problem, has the same kind of value to this other employer. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. So you have to know how to negotiate and navigate that. Or you can get through the entire interview and get to that question, the last question, and answer that question wrong. The biggest issue that a company will have with you is not your technical expertise. It is your likability and the mismatched salary expectations. Those are the two things that will cause you to not be selected. Okay? They don't like you or your likability is not where it needs to be, and your salary expectations are way off base because you don't know how to navigate those two things. So that's the issue. And so many of you ask that question, how do I ask for pay? And I explain it to you. God, what you are worth, you have to know the market, you have to know the job, you have to know your skill, you have to know the pay as it compares to that company and other companies that are like it. And my God, I tell you exactly where to look, I tell you exactly where to go find it. It's the same place I go to, right? So when you walk in, you're walking in with that information. So if these bozos, and I don't mean to be mean, if a hiring manager tries to lowball you in an intelligent way, you can say the market for my position, for this position, for a person with my skill level is here. Competitors are paying this. You need to walk in with that intelligence. So you're not being lowballed ever again for the rest of your life. Okay? That's important for you to know. So if you get this guide, it shares all of the information with you. You can just click the link in the bio and grab it if you want. Chris says, I keep getting to the finals of an interview, but I haven't been chosen for 8 different jobs. I get this question all the time too. Well, I'm getting interviews, but I'm not getting offers. And the issue here is they don't like Chris. They don't like you. And part of the reason why is, and I'm sure if I interview with Chris, there's nothing wrong with Chris other than you may over talk in the interview. You get way more information than you need to. That's why when you look at my videos, my answers are very short, to the point, straightforward, and direct. They don't offer any more. Okay, let me here's what you need to think about an interview. If you are stopped by uh, a peace officer, for some sort of traffic violation, okay? This may be a horrible example, but it's the one that came. It is best for you to answer only the questions that they ask you and give them only those things that they ask you for, because the more you say, the more they can potentially drum up some sort of question or thought, right, around what you're doing, if it's nefarious or whatever. Only give them what they ask for. I cannot emphasize that enough. And if it is not enough, they will ask you to expand on your answer. But I know hiring managers, I've worked with thousands. Usually, they will not ask. The top 2%, 3% of hiring managers will ask you to expand upon the answer, but most hiring managers will not ask you to expand upon the answer because it's satisfactory. They're satisfied with the response the way that I'm telling you to get it. Okay? So if you're getting to the interview and you have interviewed for 8 different jobs and you have not gotten an offer, you're either talking too much, you're sharing way too much information, or they just don't like you. Your personality is just way too much. That's the answer to that question. Mom says, Coach, I signed the contract today. I start next week. I'm thanking you verbally now, but in 2 weeks I will thank you monetarily. Mom Dukes, thank you so much. And we have been talking and working together um, via social media for the past 2 3 weeks. I cannot tell you how happy I am that you got this job and that you're getting the work. I'm telling you, I can't. Whatever you decide to give, I will thank you. I really appreciate your generous contribution to what it is I'm doing. But you're the reason why I do it. You guys are the reason why I do it. Okay? This is confirmation. Your response, your message here on Instagram is confirmation that this is what I'm supposed to do. Somebody asked me on a message or you can comment, hey, can you share with hiring managers? That's not what I'm called to do right now. I help the hiring managers on our team. I give them the interview guides. I tell them the questions to ask and what to be looking for. But that's not what I am here to help candidates. That's what I'm here to do. And that's what I'm passionate about. But listen, exactly. Don't give out information that's not asked. Just relax and answer just the questions asked. Yes. Yes. Don't please. I'm telling you that when you overshare, what happens is the manager ends up getting into their own head about their own experience, about some previous employee that used to work for them. They make this comparison. They've only known you for 15 minutes, and they make a decision against you because they think that you're like this other person they fired or something. Your personality is like this, and that's not cool. And I try to encourage hiring managers, don't do that. You are throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Don't do that. Like, what's wrong with you? We are letting a great candidate, a person who is going to be able to contribute to this team, leave because you and your feelings about it. Don't do that. So that's why I tell you to answer the way that I tell you to answer. So what field do you win, if I may ask? Okay, Melissa, I don't know if I answered you answered. I don't understand your question. What field are you asking? What field am I in? I did a lot of research and looking for my next job, what to say, what not to say. Melissa says that. So Melissa, I'm sorry, I'm taking my, I think my phone. So are you or worried? Okay, so I think you're asking me what field I'm in. Let me know if that's what you're asking. I want to answer your question. What field am I in? Is that what you're asking me? Yes. I've been in many fields. What is yours? Okay. So Melissa, let me give you just a verbal overview of my resume. I have been in talent acquisition for 35 years. Talent acquisition recruiting. And by recruiting and talent acquisition, I mean finding candidates, screening them for their skill, experience, education, and background, finding, screening, evaluating them against the needs of the client, and placing them on assignment or giving them jobs, or getting them to hiring managers and getting them hired in organizations in almost every imaginable industry in America. Tech. Many years ago, I used to hire tech support people and not people for Southwestern Bell when they came to the Dallas, Texas area. I built their entire customer service tech support call center. I used to be the national talent acquisition manager for the largest customer service call center company in the country. We used to hire almost 4,000 people a year. I have done talent acquisition in the medical field, which is what I do right now. I'm a talent acquisition manager for the largest pediatric company in the state of Texas. Okay? So hiring doctors, pediatricians, nurse practitioners, medical assistants, managers. I've been a talent acquisition manager in hospital. I work with staffing agencies. I've done everything from production to manufacturing to warehouse and logistics. I used to be the owner of 2 employment agencies. Both of them were multi-million-dollar businesses. I'll tell you where they went, why they went to the side. One was because of COVID. One was because of COVID. One was because of but so I used to hire for every imaginable industry you could ever imagine. Hotel, hospitality. I used to hire accountants, restaurant workers, cleaning crews, construction, skilled trade. I can go on and on and on and on. Here's the funny thing. Recruiting is recruiting, and real recruiters know that recruiting is recruiting. The only difference between one type of recruiting and another type of recruiting is the job. How to find candidates is the same for every single position. The higher the position, the more skilled the position, the more technical, the fewer the candidates. But all candidates, for the most part, hang out in the same places, do the same thing, whether they're a warehouse worker or a doctor. It's all the same. Okay, real recruiters know that. Okay, so I have been a talent acquisition manager in every imaginable job you can think of. I used to be a director of operations for recruiting for a staffing agency that hired medical staff in the Air Force. So I've done government staffing as well. So I can go so that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm passionate about. That's what I love doing. I will never stop unless God tells me to do something else. I will never stop recruiting until I'm gone from this earth. I just love it. I absolutely love it. And what drives me more than anything else is you succeed and take care of your family. That is the thing that I am most driven by. Helping companies succeed by bringing great people into the fold and watching those companies go to the next level because we hired the right. I love that. I'm a pretty good recruiter, probably one of the best in the country, I would say, because of my experience. Definitely a very good manager, uh, senior manager, director, executive level individual. I know recruiting operations. I have never ever taken my hand off of touching candidates. I never have. And I tell when I work for a company, I tell them, I know you want me to manage the team. But I'm telling you right now, I'm still going to interview candidates, talk to candidates, post positions, work with hire. I just love that. I love it. I love seeing people succeed so they can take care of themselves and their families. I love that. That's what drives me. That's what I'm passionate about. That's why I get up every single morning and go to work every day. That's why I do this and why I continue to do it every day. This is what I've been called to. And okay, question comes to me, listen, a great recruiter want to see people happy and a right. Question comes. Question in this day and age, how can I reach out to a recruiter if I'm applying to a big company? How do I find them and contact them? Any advice would be appreciated. Okay, so here's what you need to understand how the process works. Okay, when you apply for a position, and this is here on Instagram, knows. When you apply for a position, whether it's on LinkedIn, Indeed.com, wherever you're applying from, your resume goes into an applicant tracking system. Human is behind that ATS. I design applicant tracking processes for companies that you work for. So I control all of the applicant tracking systems that I for the company. Applicant tracking system gets a can into the applicant tracking system, how we process and evaluate them through so they can get to our process and then to the hiring manager process, hire, and then flip over to our HRIS system once they become an employee. Or once they get into our system and evaluate it, make a determination about where they should go. Stay in the system, get out of the system, whatever. So that's what I do. All right. So there is a recruiter behind every job posting. And it may not be a recruiter. When I say a recruiter, it could be an HR generalist or HR manager or a hiring manager. They may have a talent acquisition team. Typically, companies that are hiring 50 or more people per year, they're going to have some sort of talent acquisition or recruiting arm in their organization. So, how do you reach out to them? The easy way to reach out to them is just typing that company's name into LinkedIn and type in recruiter in the title in the search bar, and it'll tell you exactly who the recruiter is. And you can call that company and ask that person directly. Okay? That's one way to do it. Or you can send that recruiter a direct message on LinkedIn. They may not respond, but you probably they may not respond, but you'll find out who they are. Or you can call the front desk of that company and say, can you please transfer me to Daniel Smiley, the recruiting man? Typically, that will come to me. And when you pick up the phone, I've done a video on this. What should you say when you actually talk to a recruiter? So that's how you get to a recruiter. Okay. Everybody is putting their information on LinkedIn. That's an easy way to get to it. My information is out there. You know exactly where I work at. You know how long I've been working at, what I do, what my responsibilities. All of that is on LinkedIn. And for almost every professional talent acquisition person, their information is on there as well because they want to be able to communicate through their profile. So that's a great way. Brian says, thank you for all your help. I applied your tips the past few weeks and I landed a new job. Brian, guys, throw up some hearts on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Brian, thank you so much for sharing that information. Congratulations. I know these tips work because I'm behind the scenes. I know exactly what's going on. Thank you so much for sharing that. When you guys have success, it does mean it helps, it motivates me to continue to do this because you guys are succeeding. That's why I do this. And you notice if you watch some of my content, I don't go back and forth with naysayers and people who try to be negative. I know what the truth is about this business, about I know what it is. So I don't go back and forth with people about, oh, you should say this, you should say this. When you have got more than 50,000 people hired in your career, then we can have a conversation. I'm not saying that you're less than me or better than me or nothing like that. I'm just saying I have a proven system over time that works consistently year after year that I know works in every industry. It's the same. It's the same. I'm sharing that with you. Smokey says, I am in the second round of interviews. I appreciate your videos. Smokey, thank you for sharing that information. Hearts for Smokey, guys, please. Thank you so much, Smokey, for sharing that. You're in the second round of interviews. Continue to be likable. Continue to answer the questions in a very straightforward and direct way. Don't offer more information that's being asked. And at the end of your second round, if it's the last one, the bottom line is ask for the job. When would you like me to start? Never ever walk out of an interview. Ever walk out of an interview without asking, when would you like me to get started? Always ask for the job. 100% of the time. I did a video on why you should ask. Okay. Um, Smokey, sometimes you have to go through 3 interviews before you get hired. Don't lose faith. Yes. And here's the deal. Why do companies have you go through multiple interviews? Let me explain to you what the process should look like in a good organization with good leadership. I'm not saying if they don't follow this prescription, they don't have good leadership. But let me explain to you because I want you to know what's going on. Your first interview is a pre-screen, and that is usually done with somebody from talent acquisition in the HR team. Could be a generalist, could be a recruiter, could be an HR manager, right? That's your first interview. That interview typically lasts 5 to 30 minutes. It is just an information gathering interview. I want to make sure that what I'm seeing on your resume matches who you are because your information on your resume solves the problem in our organization that we're hiring for. So that's the first interview. Now, the second interview, which in many cases, if it's a good organization with good leadership, the second interview is with the hiring manager. Okay. If the organization has strong leadership, the hiring manager is empowered to make the decision. That should be the end of the interviews. An offer should be made at that. If the company has good, capable leadership, if they don't, you will have to go to a third interview, which is usually the hiring manager's manager. Okay, so that will be a director or a vice president, depending on the size of the organization, a senior manager. And the reason why that third interview is being requested is because they don't trust the decision making of the hiring manager. Okay, that's the deal. So that's why you have to go through 3 interviews. So the recruiter tells the hiring manager, I like this person. He's great. She's great. The hiring manager interviews and says, I agree with you. She's great. She's great. And they tell that to the VP or the senior manager, this person is great. And if the senior manager likes you, they will give the hiring manager the authority to make you an offer and you should be good to go. Okay. That's why you go through so many interviews. Now, sometimes you will go through a third interview after the hiring manager because they want to see how you are, if you are a team fit. So they may have the team interview with you, and that's because the hiring manager values the team's input more than they should. Okay, so if they have top performers on the team, they will have you interview with the team so the team can get a feel for you as well, and they'll bring that same information back to the hiring. So that's why you go through. But it should be a 2-step interview process. And if it has to be 3 steps, what I try to do to make sure that the process is efficient for you, I say we're not. I don't want to do 3 separate interviews. I've interviewed this person, so let's get the manager and the manager's manager in the second interview, so they can collaborate and make a decision after that interview. That's what I tell those individuals that I'm supporting. Because I'll say this. I'll say Smokey he got other offers. He got other companies that trying to get him. He's not going to wait for 2 weeks. So let's get Smokey. Let everybody get in the same room. Let's interview Smokey, and after the interview, you guys can discuss it and make a decision. Smokey not going to sit around and wait on you. He's not. He's good. He's not going to wait on you. Sorry. And so companies usually understand that, and they will go with that recommendation. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. ETHERU says, can you negotiate a salary offer? If you have watched my videos, you will know that the unequivocal answer to that question is yes. 100% of the time, you should always try to negotiate salary. Do you do that, Dan? Well, this is how you do it. This is my prescription for negotiating salary. You get the guide, how to get paid what you're worth. It's in this guide. Okay. And there's another guide I have called the best way to negotiate pay. Part of it is in that guide as well. This is how you do it. Okay. When you are given an offer, you should always say, thank you, Mr. Interviewer, hiring manager. Thank you, Mr. Interviewer, hiring manager, for this offer. Are there any other incentives associated with this offer? That's one thing you want to say. Another thing you want to try to get them to answer is, thank you for this offer of $50 an hour. That is very generous. Will the company go to 55, 10% more? Is the company willing to go to 55? You should always ask for 10% more. You should never, ever not ask for 10% more. You will not lose a job for that. You won't. Always ask for that. Don't ever, ever leave a salary negotiation and not ask for these 10%. They may tell you no, and that's fine. They may say yes, and they may say, well, we can't do 55, but we can do 52 for you. Yes, and you just got yourself an additional $4,000 over what was offered. And then you want to ask the other thing that I talk about is there education reimbursement, travel expenses paid for, uh, do you guys we get certificates, whatever, right? Performance bonuses. You need to ask those questions. How to negotiate pay, the best way, how to get paid what you're worth, the best way to negotiate pay tells you all of the things that you said. I'm not telling you this. This is what I talk about behind closed doors. This is what I talk about with the hiring manager. In fact, whenever I interview a candidate, I never ever take the candidate to the manager for what they say they want. Always take them to the manager for more. Always. Person can say, I'll ask the question, what's the least amount of to accept for a job? And this is how I frame it. I said, before you answer that question, this is what I mean. If this company was the best company in the world, I mean the company you dreamed about working for, unless this position is paying this, you are not interested in the job. And they will tell me a number, well, it's $25 an hour. Okay, great. I'll tell that candidate, okay, great, 25 down. I'm telling you that I'm gonna tell the manager you want 27. Okay. And they'll say, of course. So if the manager bites on my 27, the candidate got more than what they wanted. The hiring manager feels like they got more candidate than they're paying for, and it's a win-win for everybody. I know how it works behind the scenes. Listen says, I love your advice. Brian, I asked for the job and it helped push me to an interview and was offered the job. Your passion is contagious. Thank you. Now, why do I tell you guys to ask for the job? Let me tell you. 90% of the time, 90%, hiring managers are clueless about your interest. They're clueless. You just blew through an interview. You did awesome. They love you. This hiring manager does not want to lose you, but they really don't know how interested you are. And they will come to me in talent acquisition and say, well, do you think it's something they want to do? I've already flushed all of that. So I'll tell the hiring manager, well, I think so. Let me check with them. And I'll call you on the phone. Me and you are chest bumping, high five, and I'm telling you about the offer. I'm like, listen, we're excited. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna let the hiring manager know you are interested in the job, that you're willing to accept the offer at X. Is that cool? And you can start on this date. Is that good? So you say yes. Okay, great. This is a verbal offer. I'm gonna tell them that you accepted it. So I go back, send out an email to everybody that's involved. Just got off the phone with Melissa, just got off the phone with Smokey, got off the phone with Jennifer, just got off the phone with them, and they have said they are excited to join the organization. Congratulations on landing and being for your team. And everybody's all excited. And you and me, in the beginning of the pre-screen, we set all of it up for the very beginning. Most recruiters don't do that. They're not going to give you this kind of information. That's why I'm sharing this content with you, so you can be empowered to do it. That's how it's supposed to work. And for every company that I work with, that's how it works. Now, what is my shield, my guide? I don't let candidates who are not qualified get through me. I just don't. And again, I'm not saying they're not. It's not that they're not good people. It's not that they don't have experience. But if that candidate doesn't meet exactly what we're looking for, and I know how to look at that, they don't get past me. So we never ever have to worry about whether that candidate is not going to get selected. And as I told you before in previous videos, we only submit 3 candidates for every one position. 3, not 10, not 15, 3. That's it. We do not throw people up against the wall and see who sticks. We ask the hiring manager very clearly, what do you want? We only give them what they want. That's it. 3 candidates. That's it. And they should be able to make a decision out of those 3. Okay? How that works. So Jennifer says, I have that happening next week. Second interview with HR and other hiring team members. I need to go share the link. I need to something overshare to land this position. Not. I see. Thank you. Not. Yes. Don't overshare, Jennifer. Don't. If you need help, I'll be happy to go one-on-one with you. Just click my bio. He said, thank you very much. You're very welcome. I appreciate you asking that question. So that's very important. Here's another question. Josie asked, is there a script of what and how to ask them for the interview? Yes. You just ask them. Okay? Ask them for the interview. Ask. I've applied for this job. When you call the recruiter, you say, hey, this quick question. I want to make sure I'm not, first you want to tell them, I want to make sure I'm not wasting your time. I applied for your X position. Can you take a look at my resume to see if I fit what you're looking for? And the recruiter should say, sure. They'll go take a look at it and skim and scan your resume. Yes, you are exactly what we're looking for. Then you say this. Okay, great. When can I interview with you? That's what you say. Yeah. Will that recruiter set you up? Yes. Because you have just made that recruiter's job easier. So instead of them having to go through 99 resumes to find you, because you are qualified for the job and you showed up on their phone, they would be happy to move you forward in the process. Tina says, how do you bring up the pay, or they ask desired pay, what should you put? If you get my guide, how to get paid what you're worth, the best way to negotiate pay, it tells you where to go look to find the pay range for any job, anywhere in the country, pretty much almost anywhere in the world. It's the same exact tool that I use to do salary surveys to tell hiring managers the pay range. It's the same tool. It's the exact same stuff. Free. It's free. It's all over the internet. When we go out and do a salary survey, we're looking at uh, who's posted these positions on Indeed, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Glassdoor, and on Google, and what ranges are they in? We want to be competitive in the market, so that's how we determine what pay ranges are. Okay, and that's what you see when you see these pay ranges on these job boards. This is a page between X and X. How did they come up with that number? I just told you, Kimberly. You can find the exact same information. So when you walk into an interview, you should be armed with that information already. Okay. And so when you talk about desired pay, the biggest mistake that people make is they are looking at the job that they just came from or jobs they had 2 years ago that paid more than this job is more than this job is paying, and they may say that big number and then disqualifies. Or the opposite is true. They were making little in their last job. I have this happen all the time. Person who has 10 years experience, they're a medical assistant, they were being underpaid in another organization. They come to me and say, well, I'm interested in making 16 an hour. And I say, a person with 10 years don't make 16 an hour in this company, it's 20 an hour. Would you take 20? Obviously they say yes. And the reason why we do that is because we don't want to have pay equity issues inside of the organization. You don't want a person with 10 years experience making the same as a person who has two. That's an issue on the team. People talk, candidates talk, employees talk. They know each other makes. They know. And so we want two people who have 10 years experience doing the exact same thing, make the same money. So it's not an issue. And you maintain cohesiveness on the team. So that's how that works. All right. We have time for a couple more questions. Miss HATEDON. How do you answer the question, tell me about yourself? This is what gets me sometimes. Tell me about yourself. Okay. I've done videos on this, and this is how I advise you share this information. Remember, we want to be short, sweet, to the point. Here's the other thing I want you to understand. In this guide, How to Get Paid What You Worth, one of the things I tell you is nobody's going to advocate for you. I'm going to be honest with you about everything. They don't care anything about you personally. They don't know you. Now, they will eventually, once you become a contributing part of the team, they don't know you. They're getting to know you. And the biggest issue that people have when they are in interviews is they overshare their personal life. Like, I got 17 cats, a parrot, 2 Rottweilers, a kid. My husband is a professional wrestler. I drive a 4-wheeler, or I like carrying a Louis bag. Nobody cares about. So don't. When they ask you, tell me about yourself, they're not trying to get you to tell them about how awesome you are. They're trying to get you to tell them about how your brain works with respect to serving them. So how do you answer that question? Hey, Daniel, tell me about yourself. Just tell me a little bit about yourself. Thank you for the question. I appreciate that. Well, I'm a hardworking, committed talent acquisition manager who loves to see companies succeed. I love to see my managers succeed. I love to see the company get to its goals and where it's going. That's what I'm about. That's who I'm about. That's what it's all about in this story. Don't say anything else. That's it. Don't say nothing else. Don't say anything else. Okay? That's how you should answer that question. Very straightforward. Don't give too much information. I'm here to serve you, hiring manager. I'm here to make your job easier, hiring manager. I'm here to help you succeed, hiring manager. I'm here to do whatever it takes to make your team number one in the company, hiring manager. That's what I'm all about. I'm not here to grow my career. You may be here to grow your career, but you don't want to tell them. I'm here because I want to grow my career. I want to advance in the company. I want to get promoted. They don't care nothing about it. They don't know you. They don't know you. Your actions will show that this is the kind of person you are. Jennifer says, if they say on the job posting for X to X, should you say I'm comfortable at X based on my 20 years experience? Is that good? Is that a good way to quantify? No. So, Jennifer, this is how you answer it. You have 20 years experience. Most companies value up to 10 years experience. Okay, that's what they do. So when you see a pay range, it's from 0, I'm sorry, to 10 years. That's what that pay range indicates. 0 to 10 years. That's typically what it looks like. They are not paying you for the additional 20, 30 years experience. This is just not happening. That's how it works. 0 to 10 years. 0 to 2 years is considered entry level. 4 to 7 years is considered mid level. 10 to 10 years or more, that's considered senior level. So in your case, it's senior level. So when you look at that job posting, it says X to X, right? $30 to $50 an hour. You will be at the $50 an hour range. Okay, so when they ask you what company you're looking for, you're going to say open. I'm going to tell you, I say this all the time. Why are you going to say open? And they may ask you, well, can you give me a number? I'm open. I'm open to negotiate because you want to ask that plus 10% question and you want to ask about other incentives. You don't want to flush out. And then they may say, well, the position pays within this range. Are you okay with that? Yes, I am okay with that. 100%. I'm definitely okay with that. And that settles the question for them. They're not necessarily looking for a solid number, a digit. They just want to know if you're within within the range that they've been given approval to pay. Okay, I know how to position your skills to justify more. Hiring manager may not know that, but I know how to do that, and I know how to take it back to the powers that be to make that make sense within the whole scope of the organization with people with pay equity and so on. So anytime somebody asks you to give them a number, you can even say this. Now notice the pay range is between $20 and $30 an hour. I'm within that range. Thank you so much for the fireworks, whoever did. So you can say that. I'm okay with the range that's posted. Why do you want to do that? Because you want to get to the offer phase so they can reveal to you what they're willing to offer. And offer to you will show you how much they value your skill, experience, education, and background for that organization. So that's how you want to position it. Now, when they give you the offer, because you told them you're working within that range, you want to go back to what I said before. Thank you very much for giving me this offer. I really appreciate that. Is the company willing to go to 10% over the whatever that number is? You don't want to say 10%, you want to say the number. So if it's 30, will the company be open to offering 33? If it's 55, if it's 22, are they willing to go to that? And are there any other incentives associated with it? They're usually looking because they see the value. Okay? That's how you want to answer that question. I hope that answers your question. If you have a question, you can leave it in the comment section. Okay? One final question. What should you say? So, M. Willie says, how should you answer the question, what did you like most or least about your previous position? Now, I have an interview cheat sheet in my store, okay, that you can go get. All right? And you want to answer this question in a very straightforward, matter of fact kind of way. Why are they asking this question? Why do hiring managers ask this question? They're trying to make a comparison. So because I think this is a gentleman who asked this question. I'm gonna put it this way. It would be like you're a new lady that you're interested in asking you, what did you like most or least about your last girlfriend? Now, the first thing that comes to mind for most people, I know it does for me, is all of the negative things that person, the headaches that person brought to my life. Oh, I didn't like it that she did this. I didn't like it she did that. I didn't like that about her. This would bother me about her. All of these things, and you usually never get to the good stuff. Never. Oh, I didn't like the way she dressed. I didn't like the way you know, she didn't spend time with me. I didn't like the way she didn't answer my texts. You go through a litany of negative stuff about your previous girlfriend. Now, what you're trying to communicate is you're trying to communicate to this new girl all of the things you're hoping she is not. Or if it's a guy, you're trying to communicate to him all of the things you're hoping he is not. I ain't like it that he didn't open my door, that he didn't stand up for me, that I didn't like this about him. I didn't like the way he dressed. I'm like, oh, you're hoping this guy that you're talking to, that you want to be interested in you. You're hoping that he is nothing like this last dude. That's what you're hoping. That's what, right? It's the same thing in the interview. You are hoping that your future employer is nothing like this job you just left. Like this manager was trash, and you did not like that person. You didn't. You didn't like the way they talked to you. Maybe they were lazy, they put too much work on you. You didn't like all the meetings they had. So you want the the propensity is to go into all of the negativity about the last job. But let me tell you what's happening, my friends. That manager is listening intensely to that negativity. And when they see themselves inside of the negative comments that you are given about your previous manager, it's over for you. Over. So, what did you not like about your previous job? Well, there was nothing I could put my finger on. I just feel like this company is more in line with my goals, character, culture. Your company is more in line with. That's the difference. Don't say because when you make it too personal, the hiring manager will slot you as a complaint. Even though they ask you the question, you just need to know the reason why they're asking. Remember, they don't know you, and they really don't care anything about you. Really, they don't. What they're trying to do is get to know you. You are always. I hope this was helpful to you. Remember, if you are not getting job interviews, you're applying to jobs, you're not getting job interviews, your resume needs to be fixed. Email me, coachdanielsmiley@gmail.com. If you have a question, you can DM me on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. You can send me an email. I don't care. I'm going to answer your question for you. I want to help you as much as I can. If you need support, go click the link in my profile and grab yourself how to get paid, what you work, the best way to negotiate pay, the fastest way to find a job this year, right? What you should know before you go to a job interview. There's all kind of guides in there that are designed to equip you and help you to know everything that I know that you need to know before you go to an interview. Okay. And then if you need some more in-depth, thank you to the people who who have scheduled their one-on-ones, have meetings coming up tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to help you to land these jobs. And finally, if what I've said, anything I've said tonight, even if it was one thing, you think that it was a blessing, it's going to help you in your career. I am asking you to please consider giving $10. You can go to the link in my bio, link in my profile, click the link, $10 gift, give 10 or more, it's up to you. I would really appreciate it. It helps me to continue to do this for you so that you can win in your interview. And I say this at the end of every single live, in every single podcast. I will spend the rest of my life helping you get to the next level in yours. And I'll see you guys in the next live podcast. God bless you.